I think what it's meant for me is learning a lot that I think I felt like I already knew, but bringing it to a point where I'm like really having aha moments and breakthroughs. And it's actually something I've known I wanted to do for over 6 years. So I think the biggest thing it's created is giving me that like clarity of my vision of how like I've been a personal trainer, CrossFit coach, like no, I want to help people in like health and fitness and wellness. Um, but it's almost been like the icing on the cake of how to do that. It was just so much material. So although the material's grounded in this is how you can serve someone else, you can't help but like flip the mirror and be like, oh, I do that. Sometimes they're like, oh, I can implement that. So definitely slowing down with food. Um, like didn't even know that I should be doing that in a sense, or that I wasn't doing it. So creating, yeah, slowing down with food. Currently, in the past like 3 or 4 years, I've been in like the fitness industry, and over the past 6 months, I've like had this intuitive knowing that it's time to shift and transition. And I was like a CrossFit competitor and competitive athlete, and that just wasn't feeling right for me anymore. I wanted to myself kind of slow down, like train differently, go on more the counseling side of things than working with people, like physically training them. So, on a professional level, as soon as I started this program and began to own even in my languaging, I'm studying to become an eating psychology coach. It just like would spark conversation. I have a little commute to work, so the fact that they were available in like multiple formats. I could watch a video or I could just listen to the audio. So in my car, like it was like listening to a podcast almost. I was listening to my modules. So that was very fulfilling to know that it really was not just a virtual program, but a mobile program for me. And to just be absorbing the material in that way. And then um, also the diversity of topics. So it wasn't, let's just talk about someone that's struggling with weight loss or digestion or heartburn or sexuality. It was like the full gamut. And hearing the case studies, that was one of like the biggest things that just really made me almost feel like I could already do this. Like just from hearing, okay, here's commonalities in clients and the stories I might hear. So just from hearing the case studies, being able to recognize that in just starting to have conversation with people, I'd be like, oh, this person has something similar that Mark said about this, and then, be able to make those connections. My experience as a student, I think something else that was very powerful for me is I did link up with my peer coach, and we were both in LA. So almost every 2 weeks, we would meet up for coffee and not only coach each other of what was going on in our own lives, but talk about the material and the journaling questions. I would recommend it, I think, definitely because coming from someone who did think about doing this program for like 6 years, that it was, if you're feeling like you are called to support people with health, diet, wellness, that the realm of nutrition and that the material we're learning is actually tied into science as well, and the future of science and metabolism and the diet industry, that in a sense, this is the future of nutrition.